6 months ago, almost to the date, I uploaded my first Successipe video to YouTube. Now I thought that as long as the camera angles are right, and then the content is good, and all my hashtags and all that stuff is solid, that the algorithm will push me to the top and I'll be making money on YouTube in no time. Just like we see in all these other videos that talk about success in 10 days. Well, I'm here to tell you that, yeah, sure, maybe that's possible, but we don't know the backstory on that. But what I'm here to tell you is that that's not realistic. Now I've been doing this for 6 months, and I want to talk to you from a real talk perspective of the trials and tribulations, the self-doubt, the I don't give a shit anymore, to now the mindset shift and how I view my why and why I'm doing this. But before I get into all of that, I just want to introduce myself in the case that you're new to the channel. My name is Jason, you're watching Successipe. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. It keeps this channel going for real. All right, let's get into my story of my first 6 months on YouTube. Obviously, the first point is the YouTube struggle. Look, I come from a perspective that I own a media production company. I make content for other content creators, and I've seen them grow. What I didn't really realize is that the content I've been making for people that they have been growing has been like 3, 4, 5 years. I forgot that. So when I hopped in the driver's seat and started making these videos, I thought, I know all the tools, I have all of the ideas and the know-how to become seen, heard, viral, let's say. But once I started publishing these videos, it was crickets. I was getting 1 view, 3 views, sometimes 20 views. And I started to realize that I had really no idea that YouTube is a whole different beast. And when I was judging myself against others and looking at my views compared to others, I started to have a humongous self-doubt and started instantly questioning why I'm doing this. And I know that a lot of you are going through the same thing. There's just no doubt about it. We have converted view count to self-validity. And in this, you really start to suffer. You start to get really depressed. You start to think about what you need to do to bring that view count up. And it's kind of a never-ending cycle. I actually made a video called YouTube Killed My Channel. What you guys don't know is about 2 months into it, I moved to Mexico. And my life changed a lot. I made a career decision to come down here, a life decision, and started applying myself in different revenue-generating incomes. But I also started to make different content, which I thought was different. I started showing people what it's like to live in Mexico and so on and so forth. And I think what happened, and maybe it didn't, but this was my paranoia, was I confused the YouTube algorithm, okay? And so I'm sure a lot of you guys have heard about this, is like sticking to a niche, sticking to something that is very, very linear, so then your audience, the algorithm will understand what you're doing, and then it will start pushing you down that lane. Anyways, I went from probably average 30 to 40 views per video to all of a sudden 0. And when you're looking at your analytics, as I'm sure you are, you're looking at views, reach, CTR, which is, how often someone's clicking, what's the percentage of someone clicking on your thumbnail, and then also return viewers. That's really important, right? So all of a sudden my reach was becoming 0. I was literally having 0 reach. YouTube was showing my video to 0 people. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like, YouTube is literally killing my channel. I'm making good content, but no one's able to see it. Anyways, this was a really big challenge. And I gave up really for a month. I just fell into my life in Mexico and just tried to forget about YouTube. And at that point, I had like 20 videos. I was just jamming. But I reset. I thought about it and I was like, you know what? I think what I need to do is have a different mindset on how I'm doing this and maybe apply myself in a different direction. So I talked to a couple of friends and moved out of the concept of trying to chase views and trying to chase what I think people will find important or funny or whatever, and started to moving into the lane that I really wanted to be. And that's what I want to talk about, my why. Why was I doing this? Why am I recording videos and then uploading them to the internet? Well, for me, I find a lot of growth in doing what I'm doing. It's a mirror, it's a reflection, and I'm getting responses back from other people that also see me as their mirror. And I think that we can grow from each other. And ultimately, that is my why for this channel. And learning how to be successful and live a creative, fulfilled life outside of the 9-to-5 rigmarole that we've been trained to do. And really, in the end, I started to have fun making these videos now. I started to have fun to write out scripts and thinking about what the hell I want to talk about with you guys. And that was a big change. Before, it was like a job. Like I had to do it. I had to get in front of the camera because everyone tells you that consistency is king. In some points of view, I guess it is. Like what we do here at Successipe is I make a long format video that I release, let's say on Wednesdays, as you guys start to see. And then I either break that down using something like Opus Clip to break down those videos, or I make my own bespoke shorts. I have been noticing that my own individual shorts that I record directly in a vertical format tend to do better. And if I'm publishing them 2 hours before the time that it goes live, I've been seeing better results. We can touch on that a little later on another video. If that's what you guys want to talk about, just drop it in the comments and we'll connect. My point here is that having some consistency does gain traction because people and the algorithm start to expect when that next video is coming out. But once it became a job and an obligation, there was no fun in it. There was no life in it. There was no soul. There was no creativity in it. And the point here, I think, is to have fun, creativity, life, purpose. These are the things that I'm learning. And I stopped really focusing on the views. At some point, I was like, I'm gonna upload this video. It may or may not have 30, 40 views right off the bat. If it has anything lower than 30 views, I'll change the title. I'll change something in the description. Completely normal. I recommend you guys trying this after the first 12 hours, I would say. And then if you have an increase, that means that you're doing something right. Something changed, your CTR percentage went up or your retention stayed. Let me give you an example. I just released a short a couple days ago, and it was talking about emotional intelligence. When I first put it out, in the first 12 hours, I had a title that said some bullshit, like unlock the potential of emotional intelligence. I was really just kind of, unbeknownst to me, I was chasing a title that I think was clickable. I got like 200 views. And I was like, okay, well, let's try this. I went in there and I just wrote out what I thought I would like to see. And I wrote in why I stopped caring about what people think. Something along those lines. Changed it. The next 12 hours, I went from 200 views to 1.4 thousand views. I got comments and I got 4 subscribers off it. Why? Because I wrote what I wanted to write. I didn't really care about the click appeal. And this is a huge learning process that I've learned and that I would like you guys to try to glean from me is stick to what you think makes sense. Of course, you want to learn a little bit. You're not omniscient. Don't be arrogant. There's people out there that are doing things a lot better than you. Be humble. Learn from them. It's amazing to learn from people. But also, be unique. Speak from your heart. That's the most important part. So as a recap, in my first 6 months on YouTube, what I've learned is find your voice. Get comfortable in front of that camera. Be humble. Stop chasing the likes. Once you get into that mindset, you are gonna flow. And that's the most important part. Successipe isn't just about trying to flex this concept or this image that we're successful. No, it's about finding your audience and building from there. It's always about finding your audience. I have been an artist my whole life. I have never had a 9-to-5. And I've always survived off of finding my audience. As Seth Godin said, you can have 1% of the global population read your book, and you have hit success. So keep that as a compass inside your heart. I think about that all the time. Right now, as I said, Successipe is at 53 subscribers. 53 people have felt what I've said. That's a huge milestone for me. I told myself if I can hit 50 people, wow, I'm making a difference. People are listening. Imagine, I don't even have 50 friends. I don't even speak to 50 people on a daily basis, but 50 people are listening to me on a daily basis. And that number is only going to grow. As soon as you start to see your reach on your video past 1,000 or 2,000, and you start seeing your CTR rate get over 1%, and you start seeing your retention over 50%, that means that your 50% of your videos being watched. That is telling you a lot more than the views. And that is also telling you that you're creating good content. And as soon as you start hitting those measurements, those analytics, YouTube is going to start realizing that, hey, this person after 3 to 6 months has been consistent, is showing up, and is holding audience's attention. Once you're at that point, keep going, keep pushing, do not give up. 53 subscribers is nothing in the grand scheme of things, but it's traction. So just remember, it's the slow movement. You're gonna get up a little bit and then you're gonna fall a little bit. But that next plateau that you hit, that's your next level. So you will never fall below that. So I'll never fall below 30 views. Now I'm getting 75 views. So here's my next plateau. Then I'll hit 100 views, next plateau. You get what I'm saying? So you just keep building little steps by little steps, and be thankful for your growth and how you're learning organically. Blowing up really quickly, you're probably gonna fizzle out quickly because you didn't develop who you are. You didn't develop your voice, and you might be chasing that virality again. Having a slow organic growth is kind of a pain in the ass because you're gonna go through every emotion you can imagine, but it's gonna be so sweet when you really start to see the numbers changing, the money coming in, and so on and so forth. All right, to close it out, if you're creating something and it feels like no one's watching, just keep going. Find your voice and make each video like it's gonna hit that 1 million view mark. Because more than the views is who you become along the way in this journey. That's the true Successipe. If you dug what I talked about and you're liking the content, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button. Once again, my name is Jason, the host of Successipe. I appreciate you guys so much. And until next time, ciao.